Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'll be reviewing LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Now this game has all 9 films of the Star Wars films, with the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and the new trilogy into one game. And it's basically, if I talked about every single film that was in this game, it'll probably take up the entire video. So basically to simplify it, it's basically good versus evil. So it's basically the Jedi versus the Sith, and then within each episode you can play a variety of characters. So like you can play as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, Rey, Finn, Poe. Every single character that has appeared, or a lot of characters that have appeared in a Star Wars film, is in this game. And I would say, from what I've played and from my experience, I think it's a really fun game. It basically expands on the whole everything from the complete saga, where in that game it only had the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, whereas this game also has the new trilogy. And in this game, unlike the complete saga one, is that there was voice acting in the Skywalker Saga, but I do think there's an option in the menu or something that which you can change from voice acting to the mumbles you heard in the complete saga, and I think there's a complete option that you can do in the game, and which is quite cool. And this game is completely different from the complete saga game, because in this game takes place like you know, as I said, with the different trilogies, but also it expands the map in a sort of way, because in the complete saga you only had the cantina in episode 4, and that's where you could choose the different episodes that you can go into and play. And whereas with this one, you can choose from any of the trilogies as you please. So you can choose, let's see, the original trilogy first, then the prequels, and then the new trilogy, or the prequels, the original trilogy, and then the new one, or the new one. You can basically choose whichever trilogy you want to start off with. But the only thing that's in, because basically what I'm trying to say is, if you want to play the other 2 episodes in a specific trilogy, you'll have to beat either the first episode or the second episode, depending on which trilogy you want to play. So for example, if you are playing the original trilogy and you're going through episode 4, 5, 6, in order to unlock episode 5, you have to beat episode 4. And if you want to get episode 6, you have to beat episode 5, and it has to be like that for all the trilogies, which I think I don't mind about this, because like I'm kind of like half and half with this, because that means you can experience, you know, the games or the episodes one after the other, and then go into the next trilogy, and then so on and so forth. But with the complete saga, from what I can remember, you can literally go into whatever episode you wanted to on your own time, if I remember. And yeah, that's something that you could do in the old game, but not in this game, which would have been cool to see. But I'm not complaining. And one of the things that this game has, as with all the other Lego games, like Lego Harry Potter, Lego the Star Wars: The Complete Saga, Lego Indiana Jones, is the comedy. And I think the comedy in this game is really fun, because you get to see like all of these cool things. You can see like people just doing fun things, like with like the scene on Kamino where Obi-Wan is visiting or is meeting Jango Fett, and you see some of the clones just in the background just doing some like, just I think setting off a firework or something, or a blaster bolt or something. And then if you watch all the cutscenes in episode 1, there's a bit where there's the moment where Qui-Gon saves Jar Jar, and then when he gets hit by the Lego starship battle droid ship things, you can hear the sound or the sort of like whenever Qui-Gon bumps his head on the underground of that bit, you can hear the Darth Vader's theme, like do 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 do, that theme. And yeah, that's really fun comedy, because like it's just like it's something you probably might not expect on like a first or maybe second playthrough, and it's something really cool that you might experience. And now it's time for some gameplay. And before I do show you the gameplay, one of the things that the game first shows you is that a seizure warning. So if you are known to have seizures, then this is your forewarning. There's going to be stuff that might have seizures and stuff in that, so you have been warned. Now, in terms of how you, depending on which character you play as, you have very different types of weapons and stuff you can use. For example, if you're a Jedi, you can basically just swing your lightsaber about, as well as throwing them. And I think this is supposed to be the best. I think that in terms of the Jedi, they're probably better than the ones in this complete saga, just because of that ability. Because you can just basically just throw your saber about and just hit things from afar. It's kind of like how in the new God of War game, you could throw the Leviathan axe about and you can just have a big cord back to you at any time in that game in particular. But with the Skywalker Saga, they just come back to you, like basically instantly. And yeah, then you can switch, and it's just like with every other game in terms of Lego, you can switch between different characters. And yeah, it seems to be that if you're playing a droid like R2, you've got the the hover ability gone, and that might be, and then you might get that during upgrades or something, but yeah, you can't do that anymore. Because I think you could do it in like some of the films, and I know you could do it in the Complete Saga video, or the Complete Saga game. Yeah, and then you've got Padme, who's basically he can basically do a bunch of hits and stuff, but also you can pull up the map. So this is basically the whole map. Right now I'm just going through the Attack of the Clones, so episode 2, and you can basically see all the different planets that you can go to, and they've got their own different areas, and you can basically just choose which one you want to go to. And then you've got your characters. Hang on, I always get this wrong. So, no. It's characters, and then you've got different characters. So you've got Jedi, Hero, Scavenger, Scoundrel, Bounty Hunter, Villain, Darkside, Droid, Prequel Droid, Extra, or characters, etc. And you can basically choose who you want to choose based on which character you might need for a specific level or something like that. And I do like how it keeps the tradition of how a bunch of characters get different costumes. So, for example, Anakin Skywalker, he's got his, episode 2 costume, his episode with cloak, with no cloak, then his episode 3 cape one with, and then one of Zelda's cape, that kind of thing. And what I like about this is that if you, depending on which one you choose, so basically basically what I'm trying to say is like, in this game, a lot of the characters like Anakin, Darth Maul, Obi-Wan are all voiced by the voice actors from the Clone Wars cartoon, which I think is really cool because like now you can hear some of the guys from the Clone Wars just talking about using the lines from the prequels in this game. And in this game you can collect Kyber bricks, which is basically your sort of upgrade thing. So this is basically where you can use Kyber bricks to help upgrade the different classes. So you've got like your standard upgrades that you can get for to get specific stuff. So like you might get extra health. You can see collectibles in a specific level. You can some of the standard stuff in Lego games. You can attract stuff towards you so you can get more money, and it goes on. And each character character traits, like Jedi, droid, that kind of thing, all have their own upgrades you can use. And as well, it wouldn't be a Lego game without you having to choose different ships. So you've got like the double A9 fighter, the Ark, that one, and a variety of other ships. So I'm going to keep with the one I've got, which I've got, because I'm going to show you how the space stuff works. So when you go into a ship, you can basically choose whichever planet you want to go to. So let's go to Coruscant, and let's go to. And before you can choose which destination you want to go to, you can go and choose the Coruscant space, basically the space around the planet, or a specific area. So let's go to the space. So before we enter the planet. And I've got to say, the hyperspace transition, it's fine, but I do prefer the hyperspace sequence in the in Jedi Fallen Order, just because you can basically just customize your saber and do a few other stuff in there. But I do like how in this game you can basically just go around and do any sort of side mission stuff. So for example, if you see this comet, you can basically shoot it down to get more studs, which I think is quite nice, because that means you can just get a whole bunch more studs for the stud collector, which I think is quite nice. So let's get this down to low HP, or basically completely destroy it. And now that's destroyed, you can now get a bunch more studs. And you might notice what's this big red circle thing, and that is basically a space battle, which I'm going to show you if we can get to it in time, or get to it. Well, there's no really, I don't think there's any real time limit to space battles. It's just like you go there and you basically just fight a bunch of guys. So as you can see on the top of the screen, you can see you got the Republic and Separatists. Now us being the Galactic Republic are the good guys, so we're the guys in white, and the Separatists are the ones in red, in terms of the bar on the top. And it's basically this basically just defeats all of the enemies on screen. I think you can even sometimes find like a ship, like a big ship, like a Death Star or something. I'm not sure, because like I don't think I've gone find the level to get those kinds of ships yet. But it's a nice thing to do, basically just to have some fun. Just like it's basically a dogfight kind of, basically in space. And this is really fun. It's just knowing where to fire, where to aim, where all the enemies are. And yeah, I also like how some of the characters can just appear on the screen, like the droids. Some of your guys can just appear on screen and just talk about, depending on the battle, I think. So let's find this final guy. He's over there somewhere. There he is. And then yeah, so once you've won a battle, you'll get specific or a certain amount of studs, and then if you want to, you can choose, depending on the planet you're at, you can choose different parts of the planet. So let's go to the Federal District. Okay, and then land, and then you are given this kind of nice little sequence where you're descending into the planet. Like first you're in space, and then it transitions into the planet below you, which is quite nice. And again, this takes a bit too long, I would say. It's kind of like half and half, and it's just you waiting to go into the planet where, if you look at Jedi Fallen Order, you can customize your lightsaber, you can look at the map, you can talk to some of the characters on the ship that you're on. So I kind of prefer that over this game, but I do prefer I do like the space battles, and that you can actually go around the planets before you descend into them to do space battles and stuff like that. And yeah, this is basically basically all the planets you visit are huge. Like you don't notice it. I don't think you notice it a lot until you like get further and further into the game. Just notice, oh, these are giant buildings that you can look at, and giant buildings in the distance that they're so massive, and you can basically explore them freely, kind of like a lot of other games like Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, and you can basically just go around to just talk to characters, collect kyber bricks, collect whatever, and then you can proceed into the next area of the game. So that's been it for the review. I don't know, that's been it for the gameplay. Now time to go back to the review. So once you've beaten one of the first episodes in any of the trilogies that you are playing in, you then unlock Galaxy Free Play, which is basically you can go through the entire galaxy and basically just go to any of the planets that you have visited to, which I think is a really good idea, because like it's kind of like Lego Marvel superheroes or Lego DC supervillains, that sort of thing, where you have access to the playground that you're in, whether it's New York, Gotham, Metropolis, that kind of, or the place where Kang teleports you to in Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. It's kind of like that. It's basically this giant sandbox area where you can visit to all the different planets and just have fun, and just like doing side quests, getting kyber bricks, getting ships, characters, doing side quests, and a bunch of other stuff. And I think that's really cool. One of the only things that I have that I'm not a big fan of, or I do like it, but it's like I do enjoy it sometimes when it's used, and that is the spaceship areas or spaceship level parts of the game, and that's because with the Complete Saga game, that game was fun, and so is the spaceship levels in this game. And I'm more talking about the moments when you're in space, when you're not on the planet like the pod racing or the one on Endor. Those I'm more talking about space levels. And the reason why I'm not I'm kind of even though it's enjoyable, I'm not. It's fun, but not fun. It's because basically it's kind of like the thing like that. From my experience, every time I play a ship level, after a few minutes, I have felt a bit nauseous, and I think it's mainly to do with the camera. I think I'm not 100% sure, and I think it's because if you look at the Complete Saga games, those games had a bunch of stuff going around you, and it's kind of similar with the Complete Saga one, but with this game. The Skywalker Saga, with ship levels, you're mainly focused on the behind, or on the behind of your ship. That's where the camera is focused, and it's really closed in kind of, and it's kind of hard to see where everything is. Whereas the Complete Saga game, you're not only are you focused on your ship, but you can see everything that's around you, because the camera's more widened in that aspect, and you can see, okay, there's a bunch of these ships over here. There's a barrier that I can destroy over here, but where with the Skywalker Saga, it's just very focused in on your main ship, and even though it is fun, it had me feeling nauseous at times. It didn't want me to throw up, basically, but that's how I felt when playing the game, or playing those parts of the game. It's still enjoyable. Way of playing the game. There are moments that I've enjoyed it. It's just maybe every time I'll get used to them. Maybe I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's somewhat enjoyable. But I do feel that if you play for 10 or so minutes, I'm not saying it's bad, but it just that's how I felt personally. But yeah, overall, I think the spaceship levels, even apart from the fact that it makes me a bit nauseous, is still an enjoyable. Fun part of the game to play, because you can play as a bunch of different ships from the different films, like the Millennium Falcon, an X-wing, Padme's ship, that ship that the yellow ship that Anakin uses in Episode 1, and a variety of other ships that you can play as. And I think all the characters are really interesting to play as, because you've got Jedis, you've got Sith, you've got droids, you've got whoever, and I really do like the whole character selection, because because it's basically like with other Lego games. You've got like a character board where you can choose the different characters in the game that you want to play as, but unlike other games where you've got basically just the big board of just characters, and you trying to find out which character you want to play as, you've got each characters that you want to play as separated into different character-based section area things. So, for example, if you want to find a Jedi like Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan, you can find them in the Jedi section. If you want to find a character that is a droid, then like R2-D2, then you can find a droid in then you can find R2-D2 in the droid area. And Sith, then you want to find Darth Vader, find him in the Sith area, that sort of thing. And I think that's a better way of finding characters than in the other Lego games, because it's just basically I think it's kind of a hassle for me personally, like just trying to find where's insert character or whatever, and then you find that character and then you become that character. Whereas with the Skywalker Saga, it's just I want to play as Chewie. Okay, Chewie is in this section. Okay, here he is. And yeah, I would say there's a far better way of finding characters. And overall, I would say that the Skywalker Saga is a very fun, interesting game. If you have like some enjoyment with Star Wars, I would say, and with the Lego games, I would say buy the game. It's a really enjoyable game to play, and it's very fun. It's enjoyable. It's got a lot of good comedy, that sort of thing, and I'd highly suggest anyone who might want to play the game to play the game, because it's really fun. So that's been my review for the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.